It's time to speak up. This video is going to be a little bit longer than normal, but I think you guys need to hang on to the end because there's some really important information coming your way. I've been asked by multiple people, when did I think that we might need to be concerned about troops in our streets, and I've got a date for you. I've been waiting because it seems so crazy. I've been waiting to see if certain things happened before I said this, and certain things are happening that make me more convinced than ever that we need to be on our guard on or about April 20th and in the days and weeks right thereafter. Hang with me because I'm going to tell you why, and it'll make sense, and it won't sound like I'm just a crazy woman spewing things out. So on January the 20th, President Trump signed his executive order on immigration. And in that executive order, he said in 90 days from the date, which will be April 20th, that the Director of Homeland Security and the Secretary of Defense have to give a joint report to President Trump about how his immigration policy is going, how they're being able to enact his policy. And it says in there that they are specifically to consider whether additional things need to be done, including, and it mentions the Insurrection Act. Now, the Insurrection Act allows the president to send troops, our Army, our National Guards, to send them into the streets. This has happened before. This is not the first administration that has used the Insurrection Act, but this is the first administration who has ever used it in this manner, and one that has also shown such a blatant disregard for the Constitution. So on April 20th, the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security are going to go to President Trump, and they're going to talk about whether or not they think they need to institute the Insurrection Act to implement his policies. The Insurrection Act is going to, I'm positive, is going to label anyone who is doing like the people in Boston and trying to fight for taking immigrants, people like me and many of you who are speaking out. Anyone that is going to be in any way opposition to this administration will be labeled an insurrectionist, and we will be dealt with as such. Arrests, I believe, will be imminent. People are also asking when to leave the country. I think if he follows the law, which is, I know, ridiculous, right? Before he institutes the Insurrection Act, he has to make some announcements that he's going to. If we hear that, we need to be aware that the borders are probably going to close pretty imminently. And so people need to, it's not time to run right now. Things could still intervene, and I keep hoping that things will. But things are happening faster even than Project 2025 architects could have imagined. And that's why I feel like I need to give you guys this information now. While I could be still proven wrong, I would rather be proven wrong than to not have given you this information when you will have needed to make plans. I'm sorry. I wish I had something good to say for you today, but go out there and love your neighbor.
Yeah, these Edomites are through. They're afraid. They ain't getting ready to act. But I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect.
April 5th.
The gospel of God, looking at the standard of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. This is from the Laughing Lawi. I believe she's like some type of, I'm not too familiar with her occupation, but I do know that she is a TikToker, and she goes into like research on, like on this whole, what's this whole ordeal about the Insurrection Act, not the Insurrection Act, but with the immigrants or the migrants, the different policies that's being passed by this right-wing government, the Trump administration, and she's been kind of keeping tabs on it because she's looking at it as being tyrannical, as Donald Trump pretty much has declared himself a dictator, literally. pushing policies or draconian methods is going to get people to revolt, because the whole thing of the elites is they want civil unrest. So what they're doing is pushing policies into play that's either going to push you back into a corner so you can fight back, or you're going to comply. And all the things that Donald Trump is doing is pretty much setting this place up for civil war, which is all part of the, what do you call, the Communist Manifesto. You have the particular plans of the elites, how they want to roll out their New World Order in stages. Well, we're just about at the end of that ordeal when they want to set this thing up completely. And this is why they're doing things through digital means. Okay, it's the reason why you have what they call DOGE, which is Department of Government Efficiency. It's the reason why Trump is firing people left and right. Like, I believe one department was investigating Elon Musk, but they fired everybody in the damn department. So now, you know, this dude Elon Musk, or Trump's sidekick, which pretty much is like he's calling the shots, it's pretty much to the point now that they can just do what the hell they want to do. Of course, being controlled by the powers to be. But, you know, people are hurt, man. Okay, you got fucking mass layoffs, you got inflation, you got tariffs, which tariffs is nothing more but a levy or a tax that the consumer or the taxpayer will have to tally up and pay, which will make the goods unaffordable, you know, which they're talking about recession fears now, but more like depression, because we've been in a recession since 2000. Really, we've been in a recession since 2008. And probably before then as well, because we know that the dollar has been losing purchasing power by the seconds of the day. So Esau is getting ready to crash out, man. All right. And you people, like we say, Esau is going to be the one that kicked this thing off first, this insurrection against the government, because, you know, they're at the point now that Trump was their last hope, the last great white hope. And he's come in to do the polar opposite of what people anticipated. So now they're like, okay, well, shit, it's time to take matters. If Trump don't fix it, then it's time to take matters into our own hands. Because for the simple fact, the Proud Boys, you know, MAGA, they're looking at Trump like, man, this dude is out of his damn mind. You know, but Trump, man, he's doing a lot of left-hand shit. He's even talking about we want Greenland and, you know, military intervention off the plane. Same thing with Iran. He was talking about, well, hey, something very big is going to happen very soon. He said, I would rather have peace. But he said, you know, something big is going to transpire. So he's giving Iran 2 months to do away with their nuclear agreement deal. Well, he's basically going to bomb their ass. You know, as you see that the Houthis are in tour with Israel right now. So it's shit is happening all over the board, man. All right. And what are you Israelites doing out there? You're playing games. You got Keisha talking about she's getting ready to take her girls' trip, her girls' only trip, when she wants to take her funky ass overseas and be the whore that she is. You got Jake crash out culture. You know, niggas trying to go to spring break and turn up and do all manners of evil and wickedness, but yet here you got a society that's crumbling right before you, man. And this is why you Jakes, man, you've always been the first one to fuck around and find out, because you were never aware, like the scriptures say, because you didn't look forward to the Lord. You roughly paraphrase the scriptures say, because you didn't look to the Holy One of Israel to protect you from these things, man. Because while all hell is breaking loose, shit is happening. You got this dude, Kanye West, dressing up in a black Klansman outfit with a fucking swastika on his neck. You know what I'm saying? Defying judges' orders and all types of shit. You know, as a psyop to get you people to look the other way. Basically, the pump fake. You know? So, yeah, man, shit is getting ready to happen. All right. So, anyway, let me get a precept and I'll go to this second video here, because she puts out some good videos. And I actually tried to sign in what I tried to request, like, some people in TikTok, in order for you to become friends with them on TikTok or follow them, they have to approve you. So I tried to follow her page, but I think it, you know, have to go through like some type of approval process. So, you know, because people are, you know, looking at it, and like she mentioned, you know, becoming an insurrection. If you're labeled an insurrectionist, then basically what happens is they can cart your ass off to a concentration camp, because basically they're saying that you are a public threat and you are treasonous to the United States of America. All right, this is why, hey, Trump even said it months ago. He said, look, we will send U.S. citizens out of America's borders and ship you to a prison and send your ass to El Salvador. fucking Cuba and put you in Guantanamo Bay. And he said it, even though that's against the Constitution, because you're not supposed to deal with any United States citizen under that harsh manner. But when you suspend habeas corpus, you know, when you do away with people's constitutional rights, then you can do whatever you want to do with people. All right, Revelation 2. All right. So anyway, let's get this in the book of Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. It says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. It says, for the devil is come down to you having great wrath, because he had but a short time. And this devil was talking about Esau. Now, when you go into the word heavens here, it goes into Aranos, which means a vaulted or expanse of the sky with visible things in it. And it's talking about the atmosphere, universe, the world, the area, heaven, sky, a region where the clouds of tempest, the region above the sidereal heavens, and the seat of order of things, consumingly perfect where the Most High dwells in heavenly beings. Okay, but in this case it says, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. It says, dwell unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down and you having great wrath, because you have but a short time. So he's making his move quick. Like she mentioned, she said, look, Project 2025 is coming together roughly quicker than when everybody anticipated. You know, because, hey, Esau got to get shit popping quick because he's on a time frame. And the Most High is not going to allow this devil to go beyond his bounds, because, I mean, if he drags this thing out for another 10 years, I mean, it's safe to say that, shit, we all die off, man, within a few short years because of the chemicals, the poisons. Like, they created a horrible storm last night, which hit the Kansas City area, thunderstorms and all types of shit. And now I'm looking out in the sky, and there's nothing but chemtrails and chemicals all over the place. A haze, man, and you can smell it, you know, and people are fed up with it, man. They at the point like, look, man, we're tired of living under this tyranny. We're going to have to do something about it, which is going to cause people to revolt against this system. Hence, Trump declaring the Insurrection Act, which will deploy military means to the streets of America, man. And a lot of those military men, they may be from UN or different countries, or they may be some of those nationals that came across the border, because, I mean, you got American troops that feels the same way that the citizens are feeling, and they don't want to buck up against their own people. But a lot of them are paid off, and then a lot of them are being shipped overseas. So what happens when the Insurrection Act is provoked or enacted, and then you have a foreign military disguised as the U.S. Army on your soils? It's going to look kind of strange, man. You know, here you got a motherfucker with a Ukrainian or Yugoslavian accent that kicked down your door, but yet he has a United States goddamn army fatigue suit on, and you're like, what the, wait a minute, man, you ain't American. Then he hauls you off to a concentration camp where he just beat the hell out you and grape your niece, your daughters, your sons, your wives. Okay, this is coming back in a big way, man. They're getting ready to bust their moves because they have but a short time. All right, so let's play the second video, and we'll get some more precepts. But here we go.
Time to speak up. So it's time to put on your boots. It's time to lace up your winter boots. If you can go on vacation somewhere that isn't in the United States, or you can send your wife and your children on vacation, if you have the means, it's time to send your wife and children on vacation. If you can't, you need to put on your boots. Everybody needs to go get some canned goods and some water supplies. I'm not telling you with certainty exactly what's happened on an exact date, because I have no idea. What I do know is, from talking to people around the world and working with multiple organizations within the country, that it's time to put on your winter boots. It's time to have some supplies on hand. You know what you would do if you thought a snowstorm was coming, but the snowstorm may last a few months? You need to prepare for a snowstorm that may last a few months. And again, if you are not a citizen of the United States and are here legally, you need to go home right now. You need to go home right now. If you're not a citizen of the United States, whether or not you're here legally, even if you're here legally, it's time to go home. Because deportation is sending someone back to their country of origin. But what is happening here is people are going to other countries, to prisons. It's time to go home. And it's time to lace up your boots. And it's time to go love your neighbor.
Boots on the ground, and you can see it in her spirit. She's afraid, she's terrified, right? And this is the average Edomite, because they see that their empire is collapsing, and they're realizing that their alleged savior, Donald Trump, does not have their best interests. Okay, they was on in the mindset, yeah, let's make America great again by putting niggas back on gallows, man. Destroying Jake, destroying our people, coming back in that Haman and Agagite spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? They that's the spirit that they was looking forward to, the good old days of America. But it ain't going so great, okay? Because a lot of you common Edomites are locked in the same situation as Jake, and your own government deems you as expendable when you thought that they're supposed to have your benefactor. All right, so no, it's not looking good. But she mentioned you people from different countries, go back to your own country, man. And hey, insider, she got some inside information on something, man. It's something that she know, and that's the scripture. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Job real quick, because the scriptures say that, matter of fact, this is the book of Job 18, and I'm going to start at verses 7. It says, the steps of his strength should be straight, and his own counsel should cast him down. Yeah, man, because his own insiders, you have his own people that's coming up against him, exposing their orders, man, exposing their plans. And it says, and the steps of his strength is straight, and his own counsel should cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. Yeah, man. Okay, because ultimately he's setting a trap for himself. Sure, he's going to come down on the people with an exceptional wrath, with exceptional force. But at the same time, man, people are coming up against his ass, his own people. And this is why they're having a lot of people killed off, because people are exposing them. Like you got... what's this one died? This Edomite dude, he was exposing the history of small hats, and he came up dead. I don't recall his name, but that's a lot of that coming. A lot of guys that exposing the New World Order and the government plans, they're coming up dead. Like going back into this guy called David Crowley, which was I believe he was like some type of staff sergeant in the United States military years ago, and he was filming a movie called Gray State, and he was an insider, and allegedly he committed suicide from some type of overdose, and him and his wife, and I believe his kid, all found dead. But he was doing a movie called The Great State, which shows the societal collapse, showed the foreign government assuming entity on American soils, and they showed the institution of the mark of the beast. And all of a sudden, before he was able to finish and complete that movie, he ended up dead. Okay, so something is definitely going on here, man. And I was looking forward to seeing that movie, because he had it down to the T. I'm pretty sure the trailer is out there still floating in circulation. But it was called The Great State. They showed the collapse, they showed the takeover, they showed the chip, showed the military intervention, they showed the Civil War, and bam, his ass ended up dead. So that movie never came to fruition. Psalm 64:8, it says, so they should make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them should flee away. And this is what this lady is doing. Okay, she's seeing it, and she's realizing, like, wait a minute, America's not so great after all. And you on that tip, because basically you Edomites, you're the new niggas, man. Okay, yeah, Jake is still in a bad case, but you Edomites are in the same case that Jake's, and oftentimes you're a lot worse off than our people. So therefore, hey, you're all crying in there. Like we say, Esau, he's gonna be the one that send this shit to the moon. Because you Jakes ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. The only thing you niggas gonna do is get on TikTok and do your little stupid ass dances. You're gonna be doing, all you black women gonna do is line dance and twerk and fucking go to Golden Corral. And eat buffet fucking dinners all. That's all the hell you gonna do. You ain't gonna do nothing, man. The only thing you waiting is for a fucking tax return and a child support check every month. That's all the fuck you black bitches are waiting on. It's come to the point, hey, majority of you black women in America, hey, a good deal of you black women in America, you gonna be unalive right in the streets of America, man. Right along with your kids and your simps, man. All right, mass death is getting ready to float through the streets of Babylon, because you Israelites are playing games with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Crying over some fucking job. Oh, we're getting ready to lose our job. You're getting ready to lose a whole lot more than that. And they got you exactly where they want you. With your pants down, man, naked. With your ass in the air. Let's go here. Book of Luke 21. Luke 21, and I'm going to start at verses 20. It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. It says, then let them which are in Judea. You know, this is going back to 70 AD. These things are transpiring again, all right? Slightly different fashion, but the same concept. It says, them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. It reads, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And what is it talking about? The prophecies. It says, but woe unto them that are with child, and with them that give suck in those days. For there should be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall